Assalaamu alaykum. Hi everyone. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to share with you some activities that we have been using in our home to teach the children about the 99 names of Allah. I personally really feel that it's important that these names are not just words, that they really mean something to our kids, and so that's why I've been doing lots of hands-on activities and just taking it really slowly with them. I don't want it just to be words, just to be memorising words for the sake of words. I would really want my children to form an attachment to the names of Allah, and hopefully by doing so form a stronger love and a stronger connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is why we're doing it so slowly and just really taking our time. So in this video I will be sharing with you some of the activities and some of the ideas that we have been implementing in our homeschool. So let's get started. So obviously the first place that we started was with the name Allah, and so what we did for that name is we took a blank template of the name Allah, which I found online for free, and we filled that in. With my older son we filled that in with sequins. We just put glue on it and then we filled it in with sequins, and for my younger son we used buttons, which were a bit more easy to manoeuvre and easy to handle. Also you could use glitter, you could use cut up pieces of coloured paper, and there's so many things, and it made a beautiful calligraphy that we could hang up on the wall. And the next name that we looked at was Al-Khaliq, which can be translated as the creator. So I felt like the best way to teach the kids about Allah's creation is to go outside. So we went out into the garden and we went to our local woods, and I talked to the kids about how Allah has created everything. And I mean, this is something that you can do with your children from a very young age. It's a concept that they can grasp from very young, that Allah has created the trees, Allah has created the birds, and so that is what we did. And we went out to the park and we went to the woods and we saw Allah's creation, and I asked the children to collect things. So they collected all sorts of flowers and grasses and leaves and all kinds of things. And then we came home and we made a poster. In the middle of the poster we put the name Al-Khaliq, which I found online, and I'll leave a link for that down below. We cut that out, we coloured it in, and all around the name we stuck the things that we'd found, and we put that up on our wall. So another name that we looked at was Al-Malik, which can be translated as the king. And this is something, again, that children are very capable of understanding. So I had to explain, obviously, that Allah does not wear a crown and does not look like anything that they imagine a king to look like. And once we had discussed a little bit more about what a king does and the role of a king, then it was time for the hands-on activity, and that was actually to make a crown. I did keep reiterating that Allah does not wear a crown, but the crown is very simple to make, and I have actually written a blog post about the steps that we did to make it, which I will link down below. And it was beautiful, and the kids wore their crowns, and it was lovely. So we kept the crown on display as well as a reminder of the name Al-Malik. So quite recently we have been looking at the name Ar-Razaq, which translates as the provider, and we've been using this book. This is Aishah Learns to Bake by Al Murid Publications. It's written by Latifah Perbu, I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's this lovely book about this little girl called Aishah who wants to bake. And so her mum says, okay, I'll teach her how to bake, but as she's baking with her, Aishah has to guess the ingredients. And so in order to guess the ingredients, her mum gives her clues, and often that is, like for dates, she'll say, this next ingredient is mentioned in the Quran, or for honey she says, this next ingredient Allah says is a cure. And so Allah is continually brought in and is used to help her daughter guess what the ingredients are.
So if we have a look inside, it starts with a surah from the Quran that actually talks about Allah being the provider and what Allah provides, and this very closely links in with learning the name Ar-Razaq as well as the rest of the story. And then the story is about this little girl, and she asks him if they can bake, and her mum says, yes, we can bake, but we can play a game where you guess what ingredients we need. So for example, she says, first we need a fruit that grows on palm trees, And this fruit has special powers. It gives us energy. It makes us feel better when we're sick. And Allah even says we find this fruit up in heaven. And so Aisha, the whole way through, Aisha has to guess. So her mum will continually make her guess what the ingredients are. And the book is actually quite funny. So Aisha's mum says, oh, next we need an animal that says moo, moo, moo. I know, we need a cow. But mum, I don't want a cow in my cake. And my boys thought this was so funny. And they have the same thing here. But mum, I don't want bees in my cake, when she's talking about honey, obviously. So the whole way through, Aisha has to guess what ingredients they need. And obviously I don't want chicken in my cake for eggs. And I love the illustrations. They're so colourful and cute. And my boys really end of the book, everything's brought together. And it really helps to sort of consolidate everything the child has learnt. So they talk about what we need the help of many of Allah's creation. And then this is where the name Ar-Razaq is brought in. That means He's the provider. He gives us so many blessings and beautiful things, we can't even count them all.
And we actually baked the cakes that Aisha and her mum made, and they turned out really nice. And we got the recipe from the back of the book. And again, while we were doing that, we were discussing how Allah has provided these ingredients for us. And so it was a great hands-on way to learn that name of Allah, as well as teaching kids to be more grateful for the food and the blessings that Allah has given us. So another name that we looked at was Al-Wadud, which can be translated as the most loving. And so we did a really simple arts and crafts activity for this. We just drew a heart onto a piece of paper, and then the kids scrunched up different coloured pinks and reds and things, and then they glued that on there. And the name Al-Wadud is something that even the youngest of children can understand and grasp that concept. And recently, the name that we've been learning about is Ar-Rahman, which can be translated as the compassionate, the most compassionate. And I'm still thinking actually about what activity I want to do with the children. I'm thinking that maybe, because we've got cats, we've got 2 cats, we can teach the children about how Allah takes care of us, and so they should be taken care so that they can take care of the cats. I don't know, what do you think? So maybe my children can take care of my cats for a week. Obviously I'd do the cat litter, but then maybe they can, feed the cats and brush the cats and all of that, to teach them that just like you are taking care of your cats, Allah takes care of you, Allah takes care of everyone and all of creation. I don't know, what do you think? Have you got any other ideas? Please let me know in the comments below if you can think of a better idea of how to teach Ar-Rahman to our kids. So that is the end of the video. I hope that's given you some ideas and some inspiration for things to do with your children. And if you've done any activities or anything similar with your kids, I'd love to hear about it. If you've got your own blog and you've done a blog post about it, please link it down below. Or if you've just done things in your own family, I'd really love to hear about it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.